Welcome to another weekly maritime video blog. I'm Corey Ransom with International Maritime Security Associates. We have Justin, the intern, behind the camera. Today, we are going to talk about the exciting world of risk management. Maritime risk management is a topic that we really have not talked about on the video blog before. And what I do not want to make it is a commercial for IMSA or to talk about our automated risk management solution, our ARMS platform, but we'll address that just a little bit throughout the blog. But wanted to talk about maritime risk management. Maritime risk management is a topic that's overlooked a lot by shipping companies, maybe not so much by cruise lines. They tend to do a pretty good job, and sometimes large yachts. What I look at in the maritime environment is how vessels at sea get risk and threat information. How do vessels get notified of things that are going on around them or of things that are happening within their course from port A to port B? And as you look at this, there are not a lot of good systems that exist in the world today to give vessels really good picture of threat and risk management. That's one of the main reasons why at IMSA we're in the development of our ARMS platform. If you're interested in that, we'll put a link down below that talks a little bit more about the platform and what it does. But that was really the catalyst behind it. But if you look at the different risks and threats that affect vessels and their operations around the world, you have to look at multiple software applications, multiple providers, and not all of them provide really a detailed overview of risk that affects the vessels. So from a vessel standpoint, it's easier for a large yacht in a lot of cases to receive risk information in certain areas more so than a cargo line. Typically large yachts through their management and agent companies are managed in smaller groups than cargo lines, so it's easier sometimes for the agent or manager to pass information along to the large yacht, but still that information isn't organized. And there's typically a lot to go through in order to get the right information to the vessel to help them make better decisions. Cruise lines, most of the major cruise lines have fairly extensive operations centers that they're monitoring risks and threats around the world and providing that information to the cruise lines. So there's actually a fairly substantial team of people that work with the shipboard crew to get them that risk and threat information. And in my working with the cruise lines, I've found that they typically do a fairly good job of getting that right risk and threat information to their vessels in time. Now the system isn't perfect and it doesn't always work. We've seen cases where cruise liners have run into bad weather situations where there's been injuries to passengers and damage to the vessel. But as you look at the number of cruise lines that are out there and the number of missions that take place every year, that's more of an exception and an anomaly than it is of the rule. On the cargo side of it, the information flow is very slow and in some cases even non-existent. This is where we've seen the biggest problem within the marketplace. And when we talk about risk and threats to a vessel or the whole risk management piece, we look at everything from port delays and civil unrest to closures to the maritime security, the migrant movement, the major weather, the medical side. There's a number of things that can potentially affect vessel operations. And it's really difficult for most cargo lines to be able to gather and get this information to their vessels in a geolocation specific area. So I guess the question is then is, hey, what do we do in order to try to improve that? Well, the first thing in my recommendation is you take a look at your operations. Where in the world are you operating and what are the potential risks that you could face in those areas of the world? Number two, once you establish that, it's to be able to take a look at how can we improve that information flow to get to the vessels we're managing, or if I'm a crew member, how do I work to try to stay ahead of the information flow so that I make sure that I stay on top of it. And number three, this is a recommendation that we typically have across the board, is to always have a plan. Have a plan to deal with the different potential situations from a risk and a threat perspective that you could run into regardless of where your vessel is and regardless of your operations. Thank you for tuning in on this week's Maritime video blog. We really appreciate all of our subscribers and viewers. If there's anything that we can do to help you in maritime risk management, regulatory compliance, or maritime security, don't hesitate to reach out to us through our social media, through our website, or through our switchboard. Make sure you hit the like button for this video and any other videos you like. We invite you to subscribe to this channel so you get notified when we post new videos here in the vlog section, or editorials and opinions, or life and events. Also, make sure you keep up with us on our social media, detailed in the banner above or in the comments section below. We're happy to steer you in the right direction. Make sure you check out last week's episode, which will be somewhere near my hands in a box over on this side of the screen. Also, make sure you check out videos in our editorials and opinions section and life and events.